you're doing. Yeah, like and sub, like and sub. Okay, today we are talking about Africa. Yes, the beauty of Africa, how Africans lived, how they are living, and where they are going. And most of you out there, you don't like talking about Africa. You're not proud of who you are. You're not proud of where you're from. That shit isn't late. So anytime a person talk about Africa, some people go just put their face for down. Other people will just hiss. Some people are not really proud of their continent. Why? Because they feel that the continent is not moving forward. But truly, we are moving forward. Africans are moving forward. Yeah, Africans are moving forward, and it's something that everybody should be proud of. Before colonization, these people were living, they were doing their things. There were schools, universities, where even Europeans to acquire knowledge. But people don't really understand what it means to acquire knowledge like that. They don't understand. See this city, Benin City now. When Europeans came to Benin City, if you read the history very well, you know that when they came to Benin City, the roads were sharp, like the streets were large. Even Europeans, they were amazed by this kind of civilization. But at a point, they copied it, took it to their place. And then after they conquered Benin, everything went to the dust. Thank you, Patrick, Patrick Fabia. Where you joining from? Like and sub, like and sub. Like it's my first time here. Thank you guys. But so as the war of China is now, how big the war of China is, the that's how Benin War was. Very huge. And Europeans were coming like excursion, like coming to see the place, see how the place is. Some people don't even know how Nigeria was. It wasn't Nigeria then. It wasn't called Nigeria. There were different people, kingdoms, like they were living in rivalry. Like there was no unity like now. They were living in rivalry. Territories, kings. You go to the western side, you meet the king, the Oyo Kingdom, Oyo Empire, one of the greatest empire in West Africa then. It's still strong till today. They have their ruler, Patrick. Patrick, where are you joining from? So this part of the history, many people don't even know about it. The Great Wars of China now are more like the Benin wars then. Those things are still there, but they are not preserving it enough. People are supposed to go there, see how great those things were and how lit it will be. But some of this time you can stroll to those places. Those are not Most of those places are not sacred. You can join them and gurus, gurus, hello, hi. So then in before the white man came, there was sculptures. The Africans were so creative, like the British had to take those things from Africa to their places. They didn't believe that Africans were were so creative as that then. Most of those things you see in their museum today are things that they took from Africa. I'm not saying everything, but most of those things that were taken from Africa before or during colonization. So when they came to Africa, they fought, used their weapons, and then defeated some kingdoms. So most people really ask if Africans couldn't fight back, why their forefathers, why their ancestors did not fight the colonial masters. They didn't come with guns, they didn't come with weapons, they didn't come straight that "We want to fight you, we want to enslave you." No, that was not the story. They came like tourists, they came like friends. They met their kings, they negotiated, they did businesses. So when they were surveying, these people, they never knew that these are our enemies. They took them in as friends and loved them. But the white man had another thing in mind. So when they joined, they started exchanging things, giving them what they don't have, guns and all of that. So then they started conquering them from the inside. They did not fight them from the outside. Before they could realize that these people are not who we think they are, they have already scattered them. The Igbos, especially in Nigeria, the Igbos cannot unite with the Hausa. The Hausa cannot unite with the Yorubas because they have already separated them long before they knew that something was going on. Like and sub, like and sub, like and sub. So before they knew that something was going on, they already did a lot of things to them. So if you're African and you're here, drop your country flag. Let me see. Let me see this here. Drop your country flag. If you are proud of your country, drop your country flag. So Africans were there before colonization. They lived their life. They go to battles, go to war, conquer territories, larger territories. The kings enlarge their territories by fighting. When you fight, you conquer this territory, that place become your own. They arrest people. The slavery then was not the same as what the world later saw. The slavery then was when they conquer your territory, they bring you to their own to work for them. And sometimes the slaves right to the level where they unite with the people and they give them some space, give them some places, give them things to do in the community. Not what the world later saw. What the world later saw was not something to talk about because humans was treated like commodity, buy and sell. They were not respected. They don't care about their life. They don't care about anything. But this evening is not what we are going to talk about. Slavery is not what we are going to talk about. We are going to talk about the beauty of Africa, how Africa is growing, infrastructure, innovations, tech, beauty of clothing, brand. And mention that's what we are talking about this evening. Later, we are going to talk about how colonization came into place. Places like Nigeria. Nigeria has over 500 spoken languages in just Nigeria. The whole Africa, you can talk about their spoken language. You talk about 5,000 people, 5,000 different kind of languages. 5,000, sorry, 2,000 different kind of languages. But people don't say that part. If you go to the West, what they show about Africa is disease, virus, deadness, children who need help, hungry people. That's what they show you about Africa. That's not Africa. That's Africa long ago. The Africa that is there, if you go to South Africa, if you go to Kenya, if you come to Nigeria, if you go to W wonderful, wonderful, welcome. You eating what? People just like Africa is wonderful. Yeah, Africa is wonderful. 100%. Africa is where real love is. Africa is where real love is. If you come to Africa, you will experience real love. Come to Nigeria, go to Kenya, go to South Africa. Something is going on in South Africa right now. We are not going to talk about that. But still, there's love in Africa. Go to Ghana, Cameroon, Egypt, Ethiopia, all across. See, oh, please, you are welcome. You are welcome. Which country are you from? Rep your country with your flag. So, um, what I say, Ethiopia. Benin Republic, very good places, but people don't really talk about that. What they talk about, what they show about Africa, especially the news, what they show about Africa is really not what Africa is. It's sad, but we can change that. We can change that. No matter how small your media space is, you can use it to promote something positive about your continent. You can use it to promote something positive about your country. No matter how small you feel your media space is, you can use it to push Africa very, very, very far than you feel you can. The social media is very strong. It's very powerful, like Africa. So that's how it is. So if you talk about, they say Africa doesn't have civilization. Every civilization come from the West, but most people doesn't know that Africa had university. There was university in Africa before the Europe. Europeans came there to learn. They came to study. The most old and recorded civilization is Egypt and Ethiopia. They are all African countries. So these are some of the things that you know that you are from a great continent. Don't allow what the British wrote about you to be something that you to take to heart and then put your face down whenever they talk about your continent. Be proud. You are African. You know that it's only your race, it's only the black, it's only your race that can give birth to different complexion, give birth to different. You can give birth to a black man and give birth to do that. I'm sorry about the glitch. If you're enjoying the life, if you're enjoying it, give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up. So, thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. So, um, I'm from Nigeria. Yeah, I'm from Nigeria. So, Africa is a very large continent. Almost Europe and America can fit in Africa. That's how big it is. If you go to the European countries, you go to Americans. The Americans talk about it as if it's just one continent, it's just one country. When they refer to Africa, they refer to it as if it's one small country or just some kind of village. No, Africa is a country, is a continent. Sorry. Africa is a continent of 54 countries. 54 countries. Most people don't know how big Africa is. 54, and those 54 countries are not just small villages. They are countries. Africa, Africa history, Africa at this point is different from what they are being told. It's different from what you are told. Africa is great. Africa is growing. Young people of Africa are building their own brands. What the West think they have, Africans are bringing it home. Most of the best doctors in the world, if you can rate the best doctors in the world, you can say 60% are Africans. Most of the engineers that you can see in the world that they are doing very well, most of them are Africans. There is nothing anyone can do to change that. That is why anywhere they go, they stand out. Anywhere they go, they dominate. That's who we are. That's Africa. So, Mr. CO, I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Mr. Patrick, I appreciate you. Curious Gogan. I sorry if I don't pronounce that well. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Share the links, like and sub. So that's who we are. Some people sometimes I've been creating content about Africa for a very long time, but people sometimes people ask me why I do most of those things, but it's simple. People misunderstand Africa. They say wrong things about Africa. There was one video I saw online where um, white guy was talking about how Africa doesn't have culture, how it was Americans and the Europeans that did everything for Africa. Then I reacted to the video. I was like, that's very funny because most of those things that they are doing there, most of those things that they did in that place, they're actually from Africa. Yes. But it was when they came to Africa that they saw that things like that were. See, like the King Mansa in the king in Mali, who was very rich to the point that he crashed a whole country's economy, crashed a whole country's economy with gold on his journey to Saudi Arabia. They won't record that because of how that man, the king was very rich, that he was sharing gold in Egypt. That that will not be taught in school. They will not teach that in schools. They will not teach that in schools. In Nigeria, they are not teaching what they are supposed to teach. In Ghana, they are not teaching them histories. They are supposed to teach them. I don't understand why, if you go to an African school, they will be teaching an African child from the first president of the United States to the current president of the United States. They'll be teaching them that instead of teaching them who they really are. They don't know the names of their kings. They don't know the names of their grandfathers, but they know the names of the first president of America till this date, till the current president of America. Most of them don't even know their full names, the full names of their grandparents. How sad is that? You watching, how much do you know about yourself? How much do you know about your lineage? How much do you know about Africa? We read books, we read novels, we read history about other countries, we read history about other continents, but we don't know ourselves. This is a challenge. You are supposed to know yourself. A person without identity struggles a lot. A person without culture struggles with identity. That's just the fact. You need to know yourself, know what you can do, know where you are from, know things that you're not supposed to do. And also in Africa, people blame religion, come say Islam is bad, Christianity is bad, is the one that is bringing. You are entitled to your own opinion, but let's not blame religion 100% because we have a very big role to play as Africans. We have a very big role to play as a continent. If we want Africans to stand up, if we want Africa to stand to the point where we'll be proud, hit our chest, and be like, yes, we are Africans and we are proud of being Africans, then we need to do better. We need to hold our leaders accountable. There are leaders in Africa today, they are not supposed to be there, but they are in office, like presidents, rulers in offices. But Africans will keep quiet. They will adjust. When people struggle, they will still adjust to the struggles and they will not hold their leaders accountable. That's not right. That's not right. That's not right. So if you see that your leader is doing something that is not bad, that is not good, you come out, you talk. If it's to hit the street, tell them that this thing they are doing is not good. But Africans will not do it. They'll celebrate, they'll keep celebrating struggles. They'll be struggling and celebrating it at the same time. We are good in this, we are good in that. Why your leaders can give you better? Your leaders can give you better, and you don't know that. Your leaders can secure you, your leaders can give you most of most of these people have this knowledge. Most of these Africans, young Africans have this knowledge, but based on the poor system, they cannot express themselves. There are young Africans using cartons to build vehicles and then they move. If it's a system that is working, they will support those Africans and then gain their own brands, start producing cars in Africa. There are Africans that are brilliant to that extent, but any opportunity they have, they fly to the Europe, They fly to America, they fly to China, leave the continent, and then go to where they will welcome them and develop what they have. Nobody wants to perish with with the knowledge they have. Very soon, Africa will be great, and Africa, everybody will come to Africa to see what Africa really is. Yes, everybody will come to Africa and see what Africa really is. But most people, for now, will build Africa. We are the ones to build Africa. Nobody's coming to build it for us. Nobody's coming to build it for us. The greener pastures that we are looking for, that we are running to, it was out of sacrifice of some people. Those people sacrifice their time. They sacrifice a lot to build those things for their children. And if you can come out and feel and be like that, Africa will be great. You might not be the one to enjoy it, but Africa will be a safe space and an innovative place for your child, unborn children, your great grandchildren. Your name might be written on the sands of time. How do you feel about that? Africa is a very great continent, but it's still growing. Africa is still growing. Africa is a place where love exists. Africa is a place where community exists. There was a time somebody came to my DM and was asking me how Africans think. I was like, yo, you want to understand how Africans think? That's funny because I don't understand how you want want to how a continent of over 500 million people think alike, think the same. How is that even possible? People don't understand. Africans think as community. That's the most common thing Africans think about. But everybody have their own mindset. They think differently. People feel I don't understand how they see Africa. You go out, then they'll start asking you, are there cars in Africa? Are there houses in Africa? I'll be like, how do you even how do you even come about that? Because how do you expect Africans to move? How do you expect people to move if there's no car, if there's no vehicle? I don't understand. You hear that Americans come to Africa every day. How do you expect, how do you think they come? They don't have planes in Africa. They have planes in Africa. That's why the BBC can come and capture safari, come and capture lions and take it to their place and say, this is how Africa is. Use your media space to change that. So that'll be all for now. I can say I'm going to leave you with Africa is a great continent. Use your media space to push Africa. Use your media space to push the continent. Use your media space to say positive things about your continent. Thanks very much for watching. Join me this same time tomorrow. I'll be live by 9 p.m. tomorrow. Share my link and subscribe. Thank you very much for joining me.